What's up, guys? Welcome to a very special video. I have Gabby Ellis with me, and you know what, Gabby, you are the first female player on the channel, so bit of a historic moment.
Yay!
And yeah, so a couple of you have been asking for this profile. This is the Hirudegarn Maidens deck, which made it into the meta report last week. So yeah, I did manage to get hold of Gabby, and yeah, so we're just gonna do the profile here. And actually, Gabby and I met at We played at Euros.
We did play at Euros.
Yeah, so I remember coming up against you. I think it was round four, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, it was
And
round four.
yeah, I saw Hirudegarn. I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. That's all maidens. I was like, wow. It did take me by surprise a little bit, actually.
It has that effect on people.
When it got going, it was quite scary. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna bring up your deck on the screen now so everyone can see it. Yeah. So, do you want to just sort of go through your deck? Why did you choose Hirudegarn as the leader?
Because you discard a battle card and draw two. I really love having hand advantages. I just think there's more to do with a hand advantage. Like the first deck I ever played was a Crypt Vegeta deck, and again, massive hand advantage with that. And yeah, I think it's the hand advantage for me. I like knowing what I can do. I like having multiple contingency plans in case things don't go my way.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that makes sense. Because yeah, I mean, usually maidens, traditionally it was run with the Zeno, I guess. But we
Yeah, I tried it with Zeno, but it just flooded the field. It felt almost mean. Like I felt nasty when I was doing it. But like with Hirudegarn, because you can discard the battle cards, it's like, well, I can discard the maidens that I want in the drop area because it makes them cheaper to play.
Yep.
Whereas Zeno, it relies really heavily on Jamise.
Yeah.
And somebody cold bloodless to Jamise, and I'm like, oh dear. Or and because you're milling two as well. I've had it a couple of times. I did try it with Zeno, but I kept milling Jamise, and I was like, well, this is not going to go my way. So after that, it was like, no, I think I prefer Rudigon. I like being able to throw my maidens away and then bring them back.
Yeah, yeah, great. And also you have access to Hoy, I guess, which is just amazing.
Yes, exactly. It's good for me to have a hand advantage. I think that's my main thing. Whereas with Zeno, it was a case that I could just flood the field, but then my hand would pretty much be empty, and I'd be there like, "Wow, this could be disastrous now," and I didn't necessarily like that.
Mm, yeah. So for those who don't know, do you want to just go through your deck and sort of how the deck runs, what you're aiming to do?
If you just bear with me, I will need to grab my deck.
Yep. I can link you to it. Actually, I've got it built up here. So yeah, as I said, I've got it on screen for everyone here, and yeah. So what did you actually play against at locals and at Euros as well?
At Euros, I came across against like three Janemba Mills.
Oh,
It's
okay.
genuinely terrifying, obviously, because I draw a lot with this deck.
Yeah.
I think all the like I did the three I did play, I did end up beating, but it was usually with like one or two cards left in my deck, and I was terrified. It was absolutely awful.
Right. Okay.
um, but then at locals, there was Bardock. Definitely, I think there was like two or three Bardock last week that I played against. Um, there was a freezer, swap, and then there was a couple of Shenrons in there,
Yeah.
and there was a Zamasu as well.
Okay. It's good.
Yeah,
Good mix.
it is. I quite like our local tournaments because we do just basically bring decks to test and see how it goes.
Yeah. You
So
actually I
it's
mean last week you won in Derby and Nottingham, right?
yeah, in Derby and Nottingham. It was just on a whim. I was like, well, let's go to Nottingham because it's so close to Derby, just to see how the deck plays out. Because like at game night in Derby, one of the lads from Nottingham came and he was like, "Oh, you should come." So we thought we'd go along and give it a go. And there's a lot more. I think because a lot more people go to Nottingham, it is a bigger city than Derby.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot more variety in the decks. So I played a Jackie Chun deck with that
Oh,
one
okay.
as well. And that one, like as I say, for me, hand advantage is everything. That had a ridiculous hand advantage.
Mm.
And for the life of me, I'm still a bit shocked that I managed to get out of it, but it was purely because I managed to combo out, and then the next, because of my hand advantage, and then the next he had one card left in his deck. The next
Oh,
turn he
right.
passed to me, I drew and was like pass back, and he decks out. So it was purely, I think that one was just pure, just sheer luck,
Mm.
and purely because it was to the point where he had a hand advantage, he had the draw power to the point where it was a disadvantage. It was a bit advantageous for me, but certainly not for him overall.
Cool, cool. So, have you managed to get the deck now?
I've got my deck.
Yep. Okay. So, yeah, just want to run through some of the main combos or some of the main pieces that you want to see.
So but the most important thing, and this is something I always try and cling to if I get it in my first hand, it is a forecast card, but if I get it in my first hand, I basically hold on to it and or shuffle my hand until I've got it because it's Maiden Transformation.
Mm.
So with Hirudegarn, as they say, I'll discard a Rosie and a Kakunza into my drop area. Maiden Transformation allows me to bring them both back for 4 energy.
Yeah.
And since they cost 4 each, it makes it a lot cheaper. Also, usually by the time I've got 4 energy, I've got my 5 drop Rebrian out, and once all 3 of them together, it is quite terrifying for the opponent. So I basically have a how things go. So turn one, if I've got one in my hand, a Zabuto will be played, just top 3 for a Universe 2.
Mhm.
Um, turn 2 is pretty much always Go Warrior Brenda Chateau. Top 7 for a maiden. Now, depending on what's in my hand, depends on what I will take from that top 7.
Yeah.
Usually it's the 5 drop, but if she's already in my hand, we'll look at maybe the 7 drop or Kakunza or Rosie. Turn 3 is then 3 drop. Is pay 3 for Maiden Squadron leader Rebriam.
Yeah. To evolve into the 5. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, to evolve. If I'm lucky, then the opponent will have a battle card for me to KO. But even if not, a few people are like, oh, why would you play it if you've got nothing to KO? I know my deck once it gets to 4 energy is quite powerful. So even if there's nothing to KO, I'm not gonna delay myself 1 turn
Yeah.
in order to have that thing to KO. That's not the be all and end all. My be all and end all is having my 5 drop and all 3 of my maidens out basically, so I can swing, discard cards, hit them with critical, and block. So that's usually my turn 3,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then turn 4 is when it gets mean and the maiden transformation comes along and plays the 2 other maidens, so Kakunza and Rosie from the drop area. What I do with that is it depends on where I feel I stand. If I feel I'm at a point where, yeah, okay, I probably could win on this turn, I will go all in. So I'll swing with the 5 drop, make him discard 2, and then swing with the Kakunza for critical. And because she's got dual attack, I'll do that twice, and then swing with the Rosie. If I don't think that this is the turn that wins it, then it is a case of only swing once with Kakunza so she can restand and she's for the most part safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still swing with the Rosie because again at the end she restands. I just really like the whole they work really well together. Like on their own, they are quite powerful. Collectively, I think it's awesome, and I really really like that. Sometimes I'm fortunate enough to be able to awaken when I've got my 4 energy. On an instance like that, awaken, untap 2, uh, and then swing with everything. Uh, this is why I put Champer in my deck. The 3 Champer is because I've noticed a pattern with people. They will block or negate at least one of the Kakunza attacks. It's pretty much guaranteed. It's something I found a lot of people do. But having that Champer just basically means I'm still doing the same amount of damage to them.
Okay. Yep.
Sometimes I get really lucky and they don't do either. They don't stop either, so I end up taking 3 life and I'm kind of notorious for apologizing to people when things like that happen. Um, and again, second energy is, oh well, I've got 2 energy stirred. Swing with the 5-drop Rebrienne, and then evolve, pay 1, restand, evolve into Rebrienne transformation complete.
Yeah.
Because by that point I've already discarded 2 cards
Yeah, and then you take
from
another
the
two
five.
from the hand.
Yeah, take another 2, and I appear to be. I'm semi convinced I might be a little bit psychic because I appear to always get negates and super combos. Again,
Yeah,
this
that
is where the
happens.
I'm so sorry. I always feel like a terrible person. Like, I know my aim is to beat people, but I feel like I don't. It makes me feel guilty that I'm ruining their chances of at least trying to fight me.
Oh, it's fine.
Um, but yeah, so sometimes again, if I don't feel like this is the winning turn, I'll leave 1 energy stud because I run 4 uh Rabanras, so they're all free blockers if I've got Universe 2s out,
Mhm.
and 4 Rosies, all
Yep.
also blockers, which is where the King Vegeta surprise attack comes in. That was basically put in to defend against Shenron, and because people remove their Dragon Balls, oh, triple attack, kind of terrifying. So it's just block it. Oh, throw a King Vegeta surprise attack on it. I'm only taking 1 of those.
Okay.
I'm killing the card
Yeah.
that they're gonna go at me with, potentially stopping their gameplay, at the very least
Yep.
slowing them down. So
I noticed that you've only got 3 1-drops in the main board. Were there
yeah,
times where you didn't have a turn one play? I mean, would you consider running more Zabutos?
I did used to run quite a few Zabutos, but after, as I say, like from two energy onwards, like the game's I'm pretty much regimented in what's going to happen. So with the Zabutos at that point, they're just sort of energy fodder.
Okay.
There's no, so I'd rather. I just feel like it would be a bit wasteful when there's other really good cards to put in there. So like, I used to run 4 of them, but then it was like, oh well, King Vegeta surprise attack's actually probably better in this deck with all the blockers I've run
Hmm.
than the Zabutos are. And it was the same with the Champa. Originally, I just ran one Champa, like, oh, it's just just if I come across it, that's great. If I don't, then oh well. But
Okay.
as I say, I found the more I played against people, the more that I noticed they would always stop the first attack from Kukunza or the second attack from Kukunza. So I could still inflict the same amount of damage. So it just made more sense to have cards that were going to be effective because, as I say, after turn 1, Zabuto is not really useful.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, I was testing Broly Maidens before Euros, and Sabuto was kind of it felt like a necessary evil in the deck. It didn't do much, but he just wanted to turn one play really.
Yeah,
Um, so there's one Chila in there as well.
yes,
So I mean the Chila works pretty well with the 5-drop. Quite
yes,
good synergy in there.
exactly.
Would you play
That was
more
always
of that
something.
or?
Yes, if I have them, absolutely. I would
Okay,
really.
yeah, fair enough.
I think there's cards in it that I'm like, well, when I get more, that's what's going out.
Sure.
But
Okay.
or at the very least, they'd probably go they'd go in as side decks. But it is just purely a case of I managed to pull one, and I was like, well, I'll put it in just before Euros. I think it was the same with King Vegeta surprise attack. I didn't remember it existed until the night we left for Euros. So it just basically went in as a, well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, with the Chile, because I pulled it just before Euros, I put one in, and like you said, it worked so nicely with that 5-drop. Just felt, and also because if somebody's like me and they run a lot of blockers and you manage to KO one, it's a really good card to run because I like discard.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, what are your problematic matchups then?
Um, I've had issues with hand control. Hand controls, like, to some extent, I can probably get on with it.
Mhm.
But not like, because I can just discard the maidens I want in the drop area into the drop area. But
Yeah.
I
I
just
mean, like,
think, as I
I mean,
say,
I was playing hand control against you at Euros, and I
And
got your
you ruined me.
I, I did get your hand down quite a lot, but I remember at one point I was still staring down at was it two Rosies, the 5 drop and two of the could I don't know how to say it
Yeah, two
the
Kakunzas. Yeah,
Kakunzas.
it's
So
still quite terrifying. I
yeah, so
think
I mean
so.
I was listening. That's like she's got like 5 6 attacks still. um
Yeah. Um, I found, as I say, with Janemba Mill, it's kind of scary for me. I've yet to lose to a Janemba Mill deck,
okay.
but it is just purely every time I've been dangerously close, like one more turn and I was
Yeah.
done.
I think that's
Um,
it. With hand control it's the same. It's
yeah,
you beat them but you have like 2 cards left in deck maybe. So.
yeah, and it's scary. um, I think also anything that can attack active mode battle cards,
Uh-huh.
never good for me. Never, never good for me because they'll always go for the 5 drop. Absolutely always go for the 5 drop or anything that ignores barrier. I'm just like, oh dear.
Yeah.
This is or things or people who play things with revenge. Again. And which is hilarious. I'm like, oh, I really dislike people who play things with revenge
You've got
whilst
4 King
playing
Vegetas in
something
there.
with revenge. But it's just purely because they're it's the hardest card of the lot of them to get out. And if that one goes to my drop area, I can't just bring it back. It's a case of I have to go through the whole chain again.
Okay.
So
Yeah, sure.
it's a bit or like any cards that can send something to warp because obviously the 5 drop she's got barrier fine. As soon as I evolve, I put myself at risk.
Mm.
So
Do do
it's
you do you find yourself relying on the 2 drop a little too much? Because obviously you
sometimes
need to evolve into the 5. Do yeah.
sometimes, but like last week at Dice Cup, I did just pay 5 to drop it because I didn't come across the 2 drop, so it just was
Right,
like
okay.
just hardcast it. Because I mean, yeah, as I say, it is great because I get to KO a card, but if I have to forfeit that to have my full maiden board, because obviously their effects only work when they're together.
Yeah.
So Rosie doesn't go back to active mode if one of them's gone, or Kakunza doesn't have dual attack if one of them's gone. So I need all of them. So I'd rather forgo KOing someone in favor of just getting that card out so I can utilize the other two to their full potential.
Yep. Okay. That's- so I mean you mentioned you only have one Chile, so if you had all the cards in the game, what changes would you make to the deck?
Oh, see, that's interesting. I think we'd definitely. I have to say, I don't know how many Chile I'd put in. It does depend also entirely upon what kind of opponent I'm facing. Like if I know full well it's somebody who's not going to run Shigesh, it's somebody who's not running Shenron, then it'll be take out Time Control Quinoa, take out Sun Gohan, put
Yeah.
in 3 more Chile.
Okay.
However, but it depends entirely upon what I'm up against. Um, like Chrono was only in it because I had this vision that there'd be at least 1 or 2 people, and I'd be the one that had to face them that were playing Shigesh at Euros. And I did come across one person who played it,
Mhm.
so that was the only reason that was put in. Because originally it was I had 3 Sun Gohans because I played it in my locals. I played a lot of Shenron decks,
Yeah.
and I just needed something to self awaken.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So
I mean, you've got
um,
in this list, you've got 2 nails in there. Would those stay in?
yeah, probably not.
Mm, okay.
I think the nails would definitely go in favor of the Chilis because I'd rather discard someone's hand than make mine bigger.
Yeah.
Because again, coming against something like Janemba Mill or something like it's great against something like hand control. I can draw a card for when they try when they discard them. Coming against something against Janemba Mill, it would ruin me. It would kill me.
Yeah,
In
sure.
fact, at Euros, I played someone. I drew a card and it was nail, and I was like, well, that's the next energy because I only had like 4 cards left anyway. I was like, yeah, that's definitely my next energy play because, but it's things like that. Like I know with certain cards, they go, they're if it gets to a point where they won't be useful, or I'm at a point where I'm like I feel relatively secure, they are just sort of, pop them into energy. So.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Do you have anything to add, or do you think we've gone
No,
through everything?
yeah, I feel like I've spoken a lot. I do apologize.
No, no, it's
But
great. It's great.
any opportunity to geek out over my deck, I really like it. Uh, I think it's really awesome. I understand why people don't play it because I've seen the maidens in the anime. They are sort of irritating. Like really, they're really irritating. But it's such a good deck. I'm particularly proud of it. So
Okay, well, yeah. Congratulations on topping your 2 locals as well. So,
brilliant. Yeah,
um,
thank you.
but yeah, thank you for that. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. If you did, please leave a like on the video. Leave your comments below, and if you have any questions for Gabby, I'm sure she would be more than happy to answer them. So just drop
Yeah,
them all in the
absolutely.
comments. And yeah, do you have any shout outs before we go?
Um, so if there is anybody who's in or around Derby, we have a really cool tournament and a really happy, friendly environment every Monday at game night in Derby City Centre. Um, and I don't want to be biased, but the judge there's awesome. I am his girlfriend, so I probably am a little bit biased,
Okay.
but definitely. Also, full credit to my other half for most of this deck because when he got Tournament of Power, he put together the core of Maidens and was like, try this, see if you like this. In fact, it's his fault I play the game.
Oh.
I think it might upset him a little bit that he taught me to play, and I'm definitely better than.
Okay.
But he put the basics together, so he put the core together, and then over the past like couple of months, we've just constantly been changing it, and then he has to come every time he comes home from work, he hears me going, "Can I play test my new deck?" So he's very lucky.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, remember, guys, please leave a like, comment below, and sub for more content. And I will see you guys next time.